Welcome all. In today's class we will see module 2. So module 2 is all about PN junction. So the topics that has to be covered in module 2 are PN junction, forward and reverse bias junctions, qualitative description of current flow in a junction, reverse bias breakdown, their Zener breakdown, avalanche breakdown, then rectifiers, optoelectronic devices such as photons, solar cell, photodetectors, LED and light emitting materials. So what is a PN junction? So you have studied in your lower semesters. When joining a p-type semiconductor and an n-type semiconductor together, we will get a PN junction. PN junction is used in many applications like diodes, rectifiers, and as a voltage multiplier, varactors or variable capacitors, and many other diodes. We are using PN junctions. A PN junction is formed when a p-type semiconductor on one side and an n-type semiconductor on another side is joined together. So in here figure you can see a PN junction where a p-type semiconductor in one side and an n-type semiconductor in another side. So we know a p-type semiconductor. So you can see the second figure, that is the energy bands at equilibrium. So we know a p-type semiconductor is having a conduction band and a valence band and a level of acceptors near the valence band, whereas a n-type semiconductor has a conduction band and a valence band, then a donor level near the conduction band. So if I am writing here, this is E C P and this is E V P, and this is the Fermi level of the p-type and this is the Fermi level of the n-type, and this is E C N and this is E V N. So separately, if you are considering a p-type and n-type semiconductor, this is the energy band diagram. So when we are joining these two materials together, what will happen? The Fermi level has to meet. The Fermi level of p-type material and the n-type material has to meet. So what will happen? There will be a shifting of energy bands as shown in the figure. There will be a shifting of energy bands. That means the p-type having a acceptor level of donors and n-type have acceptor levels of holes and n-type have a donor level having electrons. So these two has to meet and come in a single line. So what will happen? There will be tilting in the energy band of P and N, and the resulting figure is shown here. Energy bands at equilibrium. So valence band, conduction band. What happens in a PN junction? So when a p-type material and an n-type material are joined together, we know in the p-type material the majority carriers are holes and in the n-type material the majority carriers are electrons. When they are joined together, what will happen? Some electron from the n side diffuse through the junction and combine with holes. So you can see here electrons which are shown by the solid circles, they will diffuse through the junction and combine with holes, and they will combine with holes here. Okay, so what will happen when an electron is combined with hole, or when an electron is lost from the atom? What will happen? It will become a positively charged ion. It will become a positively charged ion. We know an atom having equal number of electrons and protons, right? So when an electron is lost from it, what will happen? Positive charge will be more. The charge neutrality between the electron and proton will lose, and when an electron is lost, what will happen? It will become positively charged ion. So we will name it as uncovered charge. A positively charged ion, which is known as an uncovered charge, because it's not covered. Previously it was like this, an electron and a positive charge. When it loses one electron, what remains is an uncovered charge. So in the n side, when an electron diffuse through the junction and combine with hole, what remains is a positively charged ion. The same way, when an hole is combined with an electron, what will happen? When an hole is combined with an electron, it will become a negatively charged. Hole is a positive particle. When it is removed, what will happen? Negative charge will be more, right? So it will become a negatively charged ion, or positively charged ion in the n side and a negatively charged ion in the p side. Donor ion and acceptor ion. So this is what happening in a p-n junction. Electrons in the p-type, electrons in the n-type material diffuses through the junction and will combine with hole, leaving behind a positively charged ion, which is known as donor ion in the n-type, and in the holes, when it is combining with an electron, what remains is a negatively charged ion known as acceptor ion. So I'll read it once. Because of this, holes are depleted on p side and electrons on the n side. Hence the name depletion region. So the middle portion, the junction will be depleted of charge carriers. There is no charge carriers now. Only acceptor and donor ions are present. So hence the name depletion region. Now p side becomes negative and n side become positive. Thus each free electron that left the n side parent atom and crosses the junction to fill the holes in the p side creates positive ion in the n side, or donor ions in the n side. Thus a net positive charge is built at the p-n junction due to the positive ions at the n side. Similarly, a net negative charge is built at the p side of the p-n junction due to the negative ions at the p side. So this net negative charge at the p side of a p-n junction prevents the further flow of free electrons crossing the n side to the p side, because the negative charge present at the p side of the p-n junction repels the free electron. So we have seen in the p-n junction, this is our p and this is our n. So holes and electrons combined. So here leaving behind positive charges and here negative charges, and we have more holes in the p side and more electrons in the n side. This is the condition now. So since here a negative charge is present, in the p side, this negative charge will be repelled with the negatively charged electrons and it will avoid the further movement of electrons to the p side. That negative charges repel with the negatively charged electrons and there is no further movement of electrons in the n side to the p side. Okay, so similarly the net positive charge at the n side, of the p-n junction prevents the further flow of holes crossing the p side to n side. The positive charge present at the n side and negative charge present at the p side of a p-n junction. So in a p-n junction, positive charge is present at the n side and a negative charge is present at the p side. Understood? So what do you mean by diffusion current? Next topic is diffusion current. So it is a current in the semiconductor caused by the diffusion of charge carriers, either holes or electrons. So what is diffusion current? It is a current in a semiconductor caused by the diffusion of charge carriers. When the movement of charge carriers, a current will be flown in the semiconductor, that is known as diffusion current. This is the current which is due to the transport of charges occurring because of non-uniform concentration of charged particles in a semiconductor. Due to the non-uniform concentration of charged particles, there will be diffusion of electrons and holes through a semiconductor and causing a current known as diffusion current. Similar way, there is one more current present in the semiconductor. It is known as drift current. So we have diffusion current and drift current. So what is drift current? Drift current, by contrast, is due to the motion of charge carriers due to the force exerted on them by an electric field. So diffusion current can be in the same or opposite direction of drift current. So diffusion current is due to the diffusion of holes and electrons in a p-n junction, whereas drift current is due to the movement of holes and electrons but due to the exertion of electric field. So the motion of charge carriers due to a force exerted on them by an electric field. Due to that, one current is present, that is known as drift current. The diffusion current and drift current can be either on the same direction or on the opposite direction. The next topic is barrier potential. So here in this video I am giving an introduction about various terms and the concept associated with a p-n junction. So what is barrier potential? So we know the positive charges present at n side and negative charge present at p side of a p-n junction act as a barrier which prevents the further movement of electrons and holes. So we have seen here, now a positive charge is present at the n side and a negative charge is present at the p side. So due to this, there is no further movement of electrons and holes from the p side and n side. Thus a potential is formed in a p-n junction. So there will be a positive charge and negative charge present, so there is a potential difference. So a potential is formed at the p-n junction. This potential is known as barrier potential. This potential is known as barrier potential, and for silicon it is typically 0.7 volt and for germanium it is 0.3 volt. So there is a difference in potential. Vp stands for potential of the p and Vn stands for potential at the n, and the difference is given by VO. VO is the difference in potential energy between the p type and n type. Now the minority carrier in the n type. So I will draw a p-n junction here. So this is p and this is n. So here electrons are the holes are the majority carriers and electrons are the minority carriers, whereas in n type electrons are the majority carriers and holes are the minority carriers, right? So now the minority carriers in n type and with namely holes. So we'll draw the barrier here. This is a barrier potential, and in p type we have negatively charged acceptor ions, and in n type we have positively charged donor ions. So due to this presence of positive and negative charged ions, there is no further movement of electrons and holes through the junction, but we have holes as the minority carrier in a n type semiconductor and electron as a majority carrier in a p type semiconductor that will get attracted by this positive and negative ions. So now the minority carrier in n type, named as hole, namely hole, will get attracted by the electric field setup due to the diffusion of charge carriers towards the negative side of negative region of p side. So we have a negative charge here, we have a positive charge here. This hole will get attracted towards the p region due to this negatively charged. Similarly, electrons which are the minority charge carrier in the p type will get attracted towards the n region due to this positive charge. Okay, so I'll read it once. N type, namely holes, will get attracted by the electric field setup due to diffusion of charge carriers towards the negative region on p side. Similarly, majority carriers, namely electrons, will get attracted to the positive n side. This is called drifting. Due to this electric or potential difference, the holes and electrons are now getting attracted and moving. So this process is known as drifting. So the charge move because of electric field. These charges move because of electric field. So you can see here in the figure, the n-type material which is shown in red, having electrons as the majority carriers and have some holes which is marked in the white. And p-type, we have holes are the majority and some black dots are they are electrons. Though in middle we have the transition width or depletion region width marked as W. So in n-type we have donor, positively charged donor ions, and in p-type we have negatively charged acceptor ions. So here you can see here electron diffusion and hole diffusion arrow marks is shown. So I can tell you the diffusion of electron is happening, which is marked in the black line. Okay, so here in the n-type, holes will come. So the electrons which are the minority charge carriers in the p-type will get attracted towards the positive n side, and holes which are the minority carriers in the n-types will get attracted towards the positive negatively charged p-type. Okay, so you can see here, that is, electrons in the p region will get attracted towards the positive charge in the n region and will move in this direction. So electron drift is in this direction. So the direction of current is just opposite, so the current direction is opposite to that. Whereas the holes in the n region will get attracted towards the negatively charged p region and will travel in this direction. So hole drift is in this direction, the same direction we have current due to hole drift. So that is marked here. Once again I'll explain. About diffusion means normal movement of charge carriers. So holes will move from p to n. So the direction is like this, p to n, current in the same direction. Electrons will move from n to p. So in this direction current is opposite. And about the drift, holes in the n region will get attracted towards the negatively charged p. So holes in the n region will go in the opposite, that is n to p, and the current is in the same direction. Whereas electrons in the p region will get attracted towards the positive charge of n and will go like this, and current in the opposite direction. So this is the particle flow and this is the current direction. So you can see at equilibrium condition, when there is no external voltage or external electric field is applied, at equilibrium what is the net current in a p-n junction? You have to tell me that. When the semiconductor is at equilibrium condition or steady state condition, what is the net current flowing through a semiconductor? So you can see here the hole current due to diffusion and drift, and electron current due to diffusion and drift. Everything will get cancelled each other, or else I can tell current density Jp drift plus Jp diffusion is equal to 0, and current density due to electron, that is Jn drift plus Jn diffusion, is equal to 0. At equilibrium condition there is no current flow or net current in a p-n junction is 0. Even if there is drift current and diffusion current present, they will cancel out with each other. So since we know that no net current can flow across the junction at equilibrium, the current due to the drift of carriers in the percentage field must exactly cancel the diffusion current. Furthermore, since there can be no net buildup of electrons and holes on either side of the as a function of time, the drift and diffusion current must cancel for each type of carrier. So you can see there is no current flow at a p-n junction under steady state or equilibrium condition. Therefore, the electric field E builds up to the point where the net current is 0 at equilibrium. The electric field appears in some region W about the junction, and there is an equilibrium potential difference VO across the W. So if I am drawing the PN junction, so this is the PN junction, and we have a positive and negative charge here present. In the P and N we have negatively charged ions here and positive charged ions here, and we have a potential difference here plus and minus, and this occurs for a width W, and this region is known as depletion region, and the width of the depletion region is given by W, and a net potential is developed here marked by VO, which is also known as barrier potential or contact potential. This potential difference is VO, and an electric field is developed in the direction like this, positive to negative. Electric field is developed here. Now what happens when we connect an external source? So when we connect an external source, there are two conditions. First one is forward biasing and the next one is reverse biasing. So what all things can happen inside this PN junction? So we already have a depletion width and we have an electrostatic barrier potential VO. These things will change. Either width will increase or the potential amount may increase or decrease. And there will be the change in electric field within the transition region, and the changes, various components of current at the junction, and the separation of energy band also will be affected. So the next topic will be PN junction under forward and reverse bias.